Hello, we are live for today's episode of the Xander Gibb Show. We are in pre-production mode. We are sharing, because Sharon is Karen. We are going out live on YouTube. I feel I'm at the helm at NASA. And we are going out live on what the hell is it called? Fascist Book. And we are going out live and all of the other places in the world too. I am just sharing links so that people know where we are. Feel free to click that share button too. We will be going live in a couple of minutes. I look so serious. But I'm not feeling serious. Don't worry. It's all good. All right, let's go to the page. Are you like this too? Do you find it helps to kind of go through to go through things, kind of talk yourself through things, like talk yourself through the steps? Going live. I find it helps. A couple of minutes. Shut up, Xander. Hi, Janie. Early bird, welcome to the live feed. We are going live in just a few minutes. I hope all is good with you and that you're not affected by... My eye is much better, thank you. I think what it is sometimes, I really hate wearing makeup. No, I honestly do. Because when I wear makeup, sometimes the mascara gets in my eye, and I know I look au naturel, don't I? But yeah, sometimes the mascara gets in the corner of my eye. Go away. And it makes it kind of weepy, but I'm sure girls out there or men that wear makeup too, because a lot of men wear makeup for work and for television and being, the weekend. You know what I mean? I guess you guys will get that too. Or not, as the case may be. But we will be talking about that on a different show. Men who wear makeup on the Xander Gibb Show. No, I don't think we'll be having that. There are far more important things to be talking about, like how the hell we're going to get rid of these Democrats in power that are messing up. Did I do that? That are messing up our United States of America. Oh, yes, sirree. If you just joined us, you are witnessing the spectacle that is the Xander Gibb Show in pre-production mode. We are just getting shared now. Don't forget to click like and share. Share as in share the show, not share as in if I could turn back time. We're just going to share. No, I don't think we need that. Thank you very much. No, I don't want a game app. Thank you. We're just going to share. I really can't talk tonight. I hope it improves as the night goes on. We're just going to share to various groups. Yes, it's done what I need it to do. Perfection. Please be sure to keep your prayers out there for Roger Stone. I am kind of very concerned about that gentleman who has actually done so much for the United States, and it would be rather concerning for him to go to jail. I'm sorry. That will teach me to try and share and talk. But I have to be careful, because if I share in the wrong groups, I get crucified for it. How dare you share in our basket weaving group, Xander? Your political stuff has nothing to do with our basket weaving. Welcome to Basket Weavers Weekly with me, Xander Gibb. On today's show, we will be weaving baskets. I will read your comment in just one moment, Janie, I promise you. I think we are nearly there with the sharing. Yes, we are there. Jamie says, per show, I sent 4 unused COVID swabs and they came back today showing all 4 positive. What does that tell us? Yeah, a lot of nurses have been reporting that it is kind of concerning. We'll talk a little bit more on the other side of the opening titles about that one. It is time to go live everywhere. It is time to roll the opening titles for the Xander Gibb Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It has been good to me this time around. Things were they were bound to change when it was found. Sugar never tasted sweeter on my lips. My heart is now intact and I can find no ribs. This is love, yeah, love. Never known true love before. Seen so many counterfeits that left me on the floor. This is love, yeah, love. All will come to those who wait. Time it cannot know the bounds, and eras don't dictate.
Hello, welcome to today's edition of the Xander Gibb Show, the talk show that really does get you talking on the Xandermonium Network, live from an undisclosed location, bringing you the best in Patriot broadcasting 5 nights a week. On today's show, my guests include Dr. Gerard Lamiro, who is, sorry, my teleprompter is laying an egg, who is an author, political commentator, and expert on political models. And in part 2, CV Burton from Freedom on Jack drops by to break down today's even hottest topics. I get on my soapbox and give you the opportunity to get on yours too in our phone in. Don't forget to click that share button so people know what you're watching. You can have your say in the feed below. And as usual, I'll be sharing your comments as we go. You can follow me on social media and check me out at xandergibb.com. Oh, yes, sirree. Don't forget about our drinking game. Every time I say the words, oh, yes, sirree, you can take a nip or a sip or a bottle, I really don't mind, of whatever takes your fancy. I'm going to come now to the live feed to say hello to everybody who is therein. Hi to Janie, who says hello, yes, sirree. Hey, yes, sirree. Hello to chat. Welcome to the show. Hello to CV. Who else is there? There's lots of you watching, but not everyone's in the live feed. Do feel free to jump into the live feed and join in the conversation. We don't bite. I promise you we do not. Don't forget to click that share button, as I have said. So a wooden sculpture of the First Lady Melania Trump near her hometown in Slovenia was set on fire on the night of the 4th of July, according to the artist who commissioned the piece. Brad Downey, a Berlin-based commercial artist, said the wooden sculpture near Melania Trump's hometown was torched The sculpture was removed as soon as the police informed him on July 5th of the incident. Downey reportedly said he filed a police report and that he would like to interview the people behind the incident if they're found for a film he's preparing ahead of an exhibition that's happening in September. A police spokesperson said the police can't reveal the details since investigation into the case is ongoing. The wooden statue was unveiled in Slovenia last year. It depicts Melania in a blue dress, same as one in her husband's inauguration in 2017, raising her left hand as if to raise. It's become the butt of some jokes after it was revealed Downey defended the artwork at the time. I don't think it actually did her any justice, but I don't know. Burning it down, it's a little bit worrying. Local sources said a drunken Democrat was appearing to skip away, singing "My name is Nancy and I'm the Speaker," but I can't confirm whether those rumors are true or just something that would make me smile. Washington Redskins are going to omit any Native American imagery in the new name. How is that possible? They're now pandering. Should we delete everything and just use Black Lives Matter shit everywhere? I mean, every day there's more pandering. Every day there is more things that are being taken away or removed or stopped due to this pandering. Yeah, Nancy Piss and Moan, that's what we should call her, says Chet. An Oregon man driving a stolen car crashed into a woman driving another stolen car. Can this be called instant karma? Get it? Karma? Oh, wow. It's early. It's early. So a bust of Margaret Sanger exists at the National Portrait Gallery. A lifelong eugenicist, Sanger supported racial segregation and forced sterilization for low IQ, handicapped, and undesirable black people. She also praised Nazi sterilization laws. Why are Black Lives Matter ignoring that this statue exists and ignoring her racist legacy? Having so much trouble with the teleprompter tonight, folks. Sorry about that. Chet says they painted it right in front of Trump Towers. Oh, yeah, I saw that. They've already done the Black Lives Matter, which I think is kind of. I hope someone comes and paints over it in the middle of the night, saying, and paints over it saying De Blasio is a dick or something of similar ilk. Joy Reid will host a nightly show on MSNBC, becoming one of a handful of black female journalists ever to anchor U.S. evening news programs. Remember when she posted a bunch of homophobic stuff on her blog and blatantly lied about it? Affirmative action in action, one may say. But don't mention the fact that Joy hates fags. And I can't say that word before you. Write in and complain. If you do want to complain, you can email me at Xander Gibb at idon'tgiveashit.com. We've got time for a couple of calls. If you are in the United States, you can call me on 845-363-4747. That's 845-363-4747. If you're calling from the UK, you can call us on 0208-133-5274. That's 0208-133-5274. If you're in the United States, you can call us at 845-363-4747. Hello to Nick. Welcome to the live feed. I hope you're good, and I hope you're not getting too much hassle from the guy that sucks, Mr. Zuck, the guy that has to import wives because nobody wants to sleep with him. So call us now. The lines are open. And so is Nancy Pelosi's mouth. You can call us on 0208-36... No, that's wrong. 845-363-4747 if you're in the United States. That's 845-363-4747 if you're in the United States. And if you're in the UK, 0208-133-5274. Yeah, I'm still a bit dumbfounded about the idiocy of writing Black Lives Matter in front of Trump Tower. I mean, let's face it. They've done some stupid things, but, this has to kind of rank among them. Let's take our first call. Welcome to the show. What's your name, Chit, and where are you calling from?
Yes, from Long Island. I'll tell you one thing, Xander. Today, I thought I was going to faint. So humid, it was unbearable.
Really?
It really was. It was a tough day on Long Island.
What was the temperature today? Because it was like here, it was like 47 degrees and pissed it down with rain. So I'm envious, really.
They said on News 12 with the humidity index, it was up around 103. What I was seeing inside of my car when I got back to the shop, my day job, was about in my car 92. It felt like it was breaching, like hellfire and brimstone levels. It was just unbearable. And when I came home, I jumped in the pool. And when I got out of the pool, it's one of those days, Xander, where you go to cool off, and as soon as you come out, you're sweating.
I believe it.
Miserable.
I did a gig in Dubai a few years ago, a designing job, and it's so hot there. It makes like America in the summer seem like winter, and also you have to keep covered up there. So you have to wear this kind of like long jalabiya like thing. So you go in the cold shower, you sit in the backyard for 2 minutes, and then you have to get a cold shower again. It's better to kind of sit inside and use the AC. But enough of my pontification. Isn't this the biggest, most stupidest thing ever? We knew it was coming, but haven't they written Black Lives Matter in front of Trump Tower just to piss off the president?
Yeah, obviously that's what it's for. The bottom line is they didn't get the permits to put it down there, so it's graffiti. It is a criminal act, and from what I understand, the president is going to have it painted over. So
right.
You can just imagine the rhetoric that's going to come out of the left's mouth once he does that. They'll say it was a racist move. All this stuff that they're doing, Xander, it's really gotten petty. And if the Democrat establishment can honestly sit there and think that this is how we should move, then that's really it's really showing their hand. For what we would have when Joe Biden gets in office would be horrible, because you see, he was talking about starting a new advisory board with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Ilhan Omar. The four-headed dragon will be right
Seriously?
there in Joe Biden's White House.
Wow. I mean, isn't that just another reason not to vote for Joe Biden? Hi to Russ in the live feed. Welcome. I think when I heard it, Xander, I just want to say, I think when I heard that today, I almost fell over, and it wasn't from the heat. But when you think about Biden, he's the perfect candidate. He can be a puppet. So what you would have is like the AOCs and the Ilhan Omars having more control in America, which would be a super dangerous thing. But they're even trying to defend the fact that he's dementing now. And I don't say that in a mean way. But they're saying, oh, well, Ronald Reagan was dementing. Yeah, he was towards the end of his tenure, not from day one. I mean, it's one thing if this happens while you're in office and it's nearly the end of your tenure. But, the concern is that if you go in and you're already dementing, what does that say if you got your finger on that button, It's
kind of a bizarre take, right? Like, oh, well, you guys are mean, so what? He's dementing. Well, so what? He's going to be the president, and he's got dementia? It's clearly not normal. I was can't think of the prick, the liberal that has the Showtime show there, Bill Maher. Right. Bill Maher was on yesterday, and he was saying, you know what the best thing about the COVID-19 coronavirus is? That Joe Biden gets to stay in the basement. And he meant it, and he clarified by saying, because if we hear him talking too much, it's not a good thing.
Well,
so he wants Joe Biden to be elected because he wants Joe Biden to be in office so everybody can pull his strings, but he doesn't want Joe Biden to talk.
Yeah, it's funny. I occasionally I kind of sit up and take notice of Bill Maher because occasionally he says some quite interesting things, but by the same comparison, quite often he says some real crap. But what does that say? Because God forbid if Donald Trump was dementing, not only would we be stuffed, but we would be saying we want another candidate, wouldn't we? Surely.
Yeah, I would think so. But the weirdest thing about the Bill Maher show situation last night, it may have been pre-recorded. It was this week. When he said that, the audience laughed. And, everybody in his audience is liberal. And, they're all voting for Biden. They're laughing because they know he's sick, but they still want him to win.
Yeah.
It's like you can't make it up. They know. They are now saying, yes, he's not mentally fit, but we want him instead of Donald Trump.
But if a dementing senior is the best that you've got, I mean, what does that say about your party? I mean, I've heard Nancy Pelosi that this is her last. She's not running for re-election, and
Yeah, right.
well, this is what I'm hearing. But she would be no great loss, would she? Well, she would be she'd be a gain to the vodka industry and the chocolate ice cream industry.
She drinks enough as it is, Xander.
Yeah, she absolutely does. I mean, what's she going to spend her time doing if she's not, getting up our ass every day and annoying us? I mean, she's going to be drinking more. Hello, is this AA? This is Nancy Pelosi here. I mean, my name is Norma Smith.
I think that what has really interested me about this whole race with Biden and Trump is the way that the left has kind of steered it into a narrative where they're creating or I kind of messed up there, but they're creating the narrative that the country's falling apart, right? But
Right.
everything that they did, everything that we're seeing, we know it's all been created to make President Trump look bad.
Right.
And the way they're going to solve America's ills is by putting a man into office that's been in Washington for 50 years.
Yeah, but what has he done in those 50 years? He's done absolutely nothing. I mean, what did the Democrats ever do that makes a difference for Americans? Because if you take a step back and look in, it looks like that the Democrats only care about illegals and non-citizens. What about somebody giving a shit about American citizens for a change? Sorry, I just flashed the white power symbol again, and I keep doing it like unknowingly because for me it's just like it's for me like this symbol is like perfection, not white power. So I'm not apologizing for that in any way.
Yeah, it's
shape,
just
or
another
form.
made-up thing the left came up
Yeah.
with. That's the stupidest thing
Exactly.
I've ever heard.
In
my
fact,
life.
are you sitting there doing this
Okay
white
symbol.
power symbol yourself while you're on the phone to me?
Right.
We're all doing it. In fact, wherever you are now, do this white power symbol. That's quite a flippant point of me to make. But don't you think it's funny that it's okay to say black power, but it's not okay to say white power? I mean, isn't that racist in itself?
Like we've discussed all week, that the racism that's being created is on the other side of the aisle. I mean,
Yeah.
good white liberals tell them white people are bad. I mean, it's so disturbing to see that the media is pushing this idea that white people are the problem and we need to get rid of them. And
Yeah.
that is what they're saying.
Yeah, at whatever cost.
Or we need to be the slaves this time around and pay reparations. My grandmother, Xander, immigrated from Israel.
Right.
I do not need to pay reparations to anybody in this country.
No. Wait,
I will not.
Wait, you're a Jew? You're descended from Jews? Wow.
I am.
Yeah, me too.
Oh,
I was
scary.
don't panic, buddy. I was just being facetious. It's allowed,
Well, now that
I said
all
to
the
my
rumors of me being a Nazi is just shot out of the
I
water.
know. I'm homophobic. I actually said to my rabbi the other day, I said, Rabbi, why do all Jewish people answer a question with a question? He said, who told you this, Xander? And on that note, we have to leave it. Oy vey, Meshuggah.
That that was pretty good. I hadn't heard that one. That's good.
So, Chet, we got to leave it there, brother. But thanks for calling because we got 2 guests on today. We got this guy in part 2 called
absolutely,
CV Burton.
man. I'll be listening.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for calling in. We will be speaking to you tomorrow night because you'll be the guest in part 2. So thanks for calling in. You are always a stalwart supporter of the show, and I'm very grateful for that. Thank you so much. Chet Martin from Freedom on Deck.
Cool.
News Now and Stimulating Chat, 3 till 5 Sundays Eastern Time. Did I get that right? He's gone. I thought I got it right this time, and he didn't even hear it. So my first guest on tonight's show is an author, political commentator, and an expert on political forecast models, Dr. Gerard Lamiro. He's going to be joining us very soon from the United States of America. Where is his book? His book is here somewhere. Here we go. This is his book. Oh, my teleprompter is doing all these strange things. This is his book. It's called, what is it called? 1 second. Make sure you go out and buy it. It's called Real World Socialism, Spiritual, Moral, and Economic Bankruptcy, sold by using false hopes and deceit. And I don't just recommend it for this reason. But a certain Xander Gibb is quoted in there. I mean, it's coming to something, isn't it, when you're being quoted in books. That is Dr. Lamiro's book. He's going to be calling us any minute now. Chit says, but we're Trump supporters, so they can call us whatever they want. Yeah, it's interesting, that isn't it? I can be a homophobe even though I'm gay. I can be anti-Semitic even though I come from Jewish stock. Chet can be anti-Semitic even though he comes from Jewish stock. They even called Joe Messina racist and his granddaughter is black. So how racist actually is he? I got called racist too for disagreeing. I got called racist on Instagram today for saying that, Colin Kaepernick created this whole situation for himself because what he did was he said that the fact that he wasn't getting the jobs was because of racism, but it wasn't. It was because he couldn't do the job in the first place. So please join me in welcoming back to the Xander Gibb Show, the one, the only, the fabulous Dr. Gerard Lamiro. Welcome back to the show, Dr. Al. How is the world with you, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I am doing good. It's a little cold here today. Apparently, it's been pretty warm on the East Coast, but here in the UK, it's been like 47 degrees and not very warm.
I see. Well, of course, we deal with Fahrenheit here, so.
Yeah, I'm talking about Fahrenheit too. My head doesn't deal with 47 Celsius. Would be like off the scale. My brain doesn't.
I know.
It's like.
I thought you had a heat wave.
No, I wish. When I see them reporting, when they say, oh, it's 11 Celsius, I'm like, what's that in Fahrenheit? Because I don't know whether I need a sweater or a jacket with Celsius. It's just a foreign language to me. Hi in the live feed to yes. Welcome back to the show, Dr. L. I want to start off with, I want to ask you a little bit about the recent polls that have been published that basically say that that Joe Biden is, kind of the front runner. And I find that interesting given they said the same about Hillary Clinton and that she was going to have, this big win, the biggest win ever. Doesn't it sound a little reminiscent of that?
Yes, and another example in history is Dukakis. He ran in 1988, and at this time he was about the same amount ahead of the Republican that year, and of course he lost.
Right.
And so this is reminiscent of how the polls are done. They don't seem to know how to maintain good scientific standards.
Right.
Because I have looked at the polls in depth, and I find problems with it up and down the list. And I've written about it extensively, and I think the current polls are also quite inaccurate.
Absolutely, because I think that there's a byproduct of that for some people. Because if you think that your candidate is going to be win by a landslide victory, there is the worry that that could make you think, well, I'm not going to go and waste my time voting if they're going to win by a landslide victory anyway. So there is that risk with that too, is there not?
Oh, sure. Well, when we do forecast models, we do it based on who's actually going to vote, and we have to take all factors into account, including voter fraud, which is difficult to estimate. But we try to take everything into account, and people do have to follow through. And on polls, they don't always follow through very well, especially if the voter intensity is low. But in forecast models, we try to account for that variable as well.
Absolutely. So another thing that I wanted to ask you about, if I can get my teleprompter to behave, is the significance of the 2020 elections in America from the perspective of, will America choose socialism or stick with freedom and capitalism? Now, I know you wrote about that somewhat in your book, which I was just sharing while I was doing your intro, Real World Socialism, but tell us succinctly what you feel America is going to do.
Well, I feel this is probably the biggest presidential election we've had in 244 years.
Right.
I've studied every one of them, and there's no presidential election which the fundamental constitutional republic and the role of the republic has ever come into question. It's always been we follow the Constitution, that is our founding, and that's what we followed. But there are a group of Americans, small minority be they, but nevertheless quite vocal, that have taken over the Democratic Party and have a clear goal of changing us from a constitutional republic to a country that's run by a socialist government. They'll say that to you outright, loudly and clearly. They're not hiding it. There may be a few in the past who have hidden their objective and their agenda, but that's the key right now. We're facing an issue in this election. Will we elect a president who's going to take us down the road to socialism, or are we going to take a president who's going to keep us on our current path, which we've been on for 244 years, and that is a constitutional republic which is based in freedom and under capitalism, which is freedom for the market, if you will. That's what capitalism really is.
Absolutely. Because it would be folly to think, would it not, that all of this is not pre-planned, like the the fact that they wanted to impeach the president, and then when that went wrong, they already had it in hand to make more of the coronavirus than actually was, and now they're kind of making out that the president can't control the country. But these are all self-fulfilling prophecies that the Democrats are actually creating because they don't have anything else, do they?
Well, in the history of socialism, when a group try to agitate in a country, they always try to exploit some loophole, some imperfection in the country, try to create a crisis around it, and then try to overthrow a government. That's happened many, many times in our history of the world. And I'm sure in England and UK, you study history in depth, probably more than we do.
Yeah.
And you're aware of the fact that this is common, that countries exploit imperfection to try to overthrow a government. And I think that's what's going on now. And people will tell you clearly, we want a revolution. We want a transformation. Transformation means from a constitutional republic to a socialist country. That's what this election is about. Trump is going to campaign on that, and I think that's going to be a key for turning this election over to him quite easily.
Absolutely.
Because most Americans don't want that type of change.
Absolutely. Hello to Swoop, who just joined the live feed. So I think the latest thing in this as well is the politicizing of the judiciary, because today President Trump, his complaints were rejected that he's being harassed in the Supreme Court in favor of New York prosecutors' demands for the billionaire president's tax records. But in good political news for President Trump, his taxes and other financial records almost certainly will be kept out of the public eye, at least until after the November election. In a separate case, the justices kept on hold on banking and other documents for the Trump family members and his business that Congress has been seeking for more than a year. Now, isn't this just another in the latest line of attempts to kind of bring him down, basically?
Oh, it is. It is, but it's even more significant than that. In Trump versus Vance, which is one of the two cases you reference, basically they're allowing a state-level prosecutor to subpoena and involve the president while he is a sitting president. This has never been done, going back to court cases as early as 1807. The Chief Justice and the Supreme Court would not allow that to happen because he held the president in high esteem and felt that his first duty was to the nation. He should not be bothered or be distracted with trivial matters. And so this is actually a set upon future presidents that they're going to be beholden to any prosecutor at any level of the government in the middle of their term of office to suddenly be pounced upon by some prosecutor who just wants to be a petty annoyance to the presidency. And by the way, the Democrats should not gloat over this, because should they be fortunate enough to get a Democrat president, which they won't be this time around, they're going to have to hire a lot of lawyers to fight the cases that will be brought against them by Republicans.
Yes.
This works both ways.
Absolutely.
It's a weakening of the office of the presidency. It's a mistake, and I think it should be overturned in future more conservative courts, which obviously Roberts is no longer running a conservative Supreme Court.
No.
He's got a liberal Supreme Court that's more politically oriented than it should be.
Yes, because the law is the law is the law, and that should be the guiding force and the governing documents of the United States of America, not what your politics are in the situation as a Supreme Court judge, surely.
Right. You're absolutely right.
Absolutely. And I'm left wondering, if Biden's bribes, alleged bribes and money laundering will be included in his tax returns. But I doubt the word Ukraine will be mentioned in his tax returns. Do you?
Yeah, that's right. I'm sure they won't.
Absolutely.
The press doesn't go after him for anything.
No. Isn't that interesting, though? We've talked a lot on this show about how the media goes after President Trump and his administration and anyone that supports him. They've even brought down celebrities that support him, including Roseanne Barr, et cetera, which is a great segue into our next story, because this is exactly what they've done to Roger Stone. And this week, Facebook and Instagram have deleted the verified personal accounts of Roger Stone on Facebook and his media outlet, Stone Cold Truth, and even his Instagram account ahead of his 14th of July surrender to a coronavirus-infested prison in Georgia. Stone is currently appealing Judge Amy Berman Jackson's decision to deny him a reprieve due to concerns with his history of respiratory health problems, and the fact that the Federal Correction Institute he's been assigned to has a history of the China coronavirus. Corrupt Obama Judge Amy Berman Jackson declined Roger Stone's plea and ordered him to report to prison on July 14th. This is the same prison that has had the coronavirus outbreak so bad that the government released a convicted pedophile and a convict who committed bank and wire fraud. I think the prosecution was righteous, and I think the sentence the judge ultimately gave was fair, Bill Barr said today in an interview with ABC News. But will President Trump issue an 11th hour pardon? And if he doesn't, will this affect how Republicans feel about him?
It won't affect it. He's not considered a major player. I think Republicans, if they think about the circumstances, will certainly go along with the president if he does choose to give the person a pardon. He could certainly do it on humanitarian grounds to prevent the guy from picking up the COVID virus since he's at risk. So I think they certainly would go along with it. But I don't know for sure if it'll happen. It could very well happen. They'll issue a pardon for him. Trump's friends were not treated fairly from the very beginning, and we have yet to see prosecutions come out of the last election But I think ultimately, if U.S. Attorney Durham is allowed to proceed with his investigations, ultimately there will be prosecutions of people along the lines of James Comey and Rod Rosenstein possibly, and another number of others that seemingly have lied to Congress and obstructed justice and lied to the FISA courts. So there's a lot of evidence against some of those players that go back to 2016, and then there's also all the situations like Lieutenant General Michael Flynn, who was prosecuted with no reason.
Right.
He was railroaded, and I think ultimately all of it will play out well if there's enough time, because courts act so slowly and prosecutors are so slow. See, what could happen is if Trump were to lose the election, then they'd call off the prosecution of those people from 2016.
Really?
They certainly deserve it.
Wow.
Yes, if President lost, but I think President Trump will win. It'll continue, and sooner or later, those people are going to have to face the bar of the court.
Where do you think, I am, I'm praying and hoping that the President Donald Trump wins a second term, because I fear for where America would be without him for the next 4 years. And as I remember, Ronald Reagan had this conversation, and he was saying about a Cuban immigrant was saying, I was lucky I got to run to America, but if it all falls apart in America, where have Americans got to run to? And what is the reality if President Trump doesn't get reelected, Dr. L, and where can we run to?
Well, that's a good question. Where you can find a country that's free and honest, and that I think we are the last great hope of the world.
Right.
And I think if our economy collapses under the weight of socialism, which it certainly would, then I think probably we would have a world depression, to be honest.
Right.
We really, even though we don't have a perfect economy now with the COVID virus, we nevertheless have a very strong economy that's robust. It's bouncing back. Employment, even though there are more people who are still unemployed, who have not gotten their jobs back yet, and more may still get fired or laid off, we still have a strong economy that's growing. We grew about 2 million new jobs in the most recent numbers, and it's a strong country. But I think America will get through this election, and I think what really will happen is we will see the end of the Democratic Party in early 2021.
From your mouth to God's ears, Dr. L, because I think that, I when I started off as a political commentator nearly 10 years ago, I was a Democrat back then, and my ideology was such that I felt that the only thing that was going to save America was left and right uniting. And I can't feel like that anymore, because it actually takes for both sides to want to make it better. And I don't think that the majority of Democrats want to make America better for Americans. They want to make it better for everybody else, which makes me very sad.
Well, I think it's unfortunate. I don't think they recognize how wrong they are. I think if you objectively look at the situations, both politically, economically, and maybe socially as well, that really freedom is the winning card. That is the winning ticket for the world. Freedom will boost economies. It'll boost people's morale. It'll boost their social structures. And I think we've learned that, and that's what I think conservatives are fighting to keep. And the Democrats who think that socialism, this pipe dream that has never worked in many attempts around the world over the last 300 or 400 years, it has never worked, is a failure. And we do not want to see this country fail just to let them have their opportunity to try once more on a failed economy based on a failed ideology.
Absolutely, and that's a perfect place to leave it. But before we do, Dr. Lamiro, tell people where they can find you and where they can find your book, Real World Socialism. Tell us where we can find that information.
Yeah, well, my book, Real World Socialism, and my other 5 books, I've got 6 books in total.
6 books? Wow.
6 books are available on Amazon, and I could recommend Real World Socialism if you want to know about socialism and how to argue against it, and why you should argue against it. It's a great book, but I also have a wonderful book on freedom. I have a number of other books, Choosing the Good Life, America's Economic War, which is the war between capitalism and socialism, as I called it 10 years ago. And all my books, Great News for America, is all about the history of America and where we're going in the next 50 years. And More Great News for America is a follow-up to that book, and that's very popular too. And it also goes in that book on all about polls and why they're wrong. And if you're curious about what's wrong with polls these days, including the Brexit poll and that, read More Great News for America. All of them are available at Amazon. You can also go to my website to read my weekly columns, greatnewsforamerica.com, greatnewsforamerica.com.
Absolutely. Listen, it's always a pleasure to speak to you, Dr. Lamiro.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll be back with us. I know you're back with us very soon. Thank you so much. All of Dr. Lamiro's information is on the Xander Gibb Show page for this week. Thank you so much, Dr. Gerard Lamiro. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot. Take care. That was Dr. Gerard Lamiro. Make sure you check him out at greatnewsforamerica.com. My next guest, who should be joining us very soon, is the co-host of Freedom on Deck, which goes out Sundays 3 to 5 on News Now and Stimulating Talk. I'm, of course, referring to the Xandertized C.V. Burton, who will be calling us any minute, and I'm sure he'll be telling us that GOAT lives matter. Where is Dave tonight, by the way? Has anybody heard from him? Just going to come to the live feed while we wait for Dave to call. Chet says, I know his followers got pissed at me because I responded to him by saying that the only reason he ever made it was because he was good at. Oh, I can't repeat that. Is this Kanye we're talking about, or Snoop Dogg? I don't know whoever told Snoop he could sing, but you know that's concerning. Hi, Dave. Welcome to the live feed. So this should be my next guest, the one, the only, the Xandertized Mr. C.V. Burton. Welcome back to the show, sir. Thanks for joining us.
Hello, Xander.
Hello, how are you?
I've been Xanatized.
Oh, it's Xanatized, not Xandertized. I will get it right. We're gonna get some T-shirts with that on. In fact, I was looking at some merch, a merch site today. So we'll have to get some that say Xanatized. That's quite an interesting notion. So welcome back to the show. I want to jump right in because I think. Did we lose you?
Hello, Xander.
Hello. Did we lose you, or are you drunk and you touched the phone with your cheek or something?
No, I've been Xanatized.
Good. So I want to jump right in because, as usual, we are time bound. You are a funny character, CV. So our first story tonight. A South African cardinal has denounced the hijacking of Black Lives Matter, which is now committed to dismantling the very values, structure, and institutions central to a healthy society. Cardinal Wilfred Fox Napier, the Archbishop of Durban, South Africa, tweeted a tweet that brief study of founding statement of Black Lives Matter indicates the movement is being hijacked by the interests and parties committed to dismantling the very values, structures, and institutions which we have over centuries undergird the best civilizations and cultures. Are some Black people becoming woke to how much of a joke Black Lives Matter is as an organization?
Well, all I got out of that was that a cardinal tweeted, which is not very unusual to me.
Well, if you, I can't go backwards and read it again, but basically what he was saying is that the current leadership of Black Lives Matter have hijacked the organization, and they're basically kind of going against its original ideology. So he's denouncing it.
No, I get that. I'm just saying that it's not unusual for a cardinal to tweet. But that, putting that aside, no, he's absolutely right. Black Lives Matter has been a communist operation from the very beginning. Had nothing to do with race, color, creed, fairness, or anything of the sort. It was all about shooting cops, as far as I remember. Black Lives Matter came along during the Obama administration because Obama was bashing cops every day, saying, "Oh, this person was attacked because he if I had a son, it would look like him, and the police are attacking people who look like me," and all this crazy rhetoric. And it's a communist movement from the very beginning. It was never hijacked. That was it. That was it from its inception.
Right. But do you think more black people are becoming woke to it, that it doesn't actually represent them as black people? Because while black people are still being killed by other black people, what this is highlighting, that Black Lives Matter only cares about black people that are killed by white people or cops.
Well, it's not really about our black people waking up. It's really about whether a person is stupid or smart.
Right.
It doesn't matter if he's black. It doesn't matter if he's purple or has purple lips. It doesn't matter if he's orange, because I know people hate people who are orange now. It doesn't matter if you're red. It doesn't matter if you're yellow. It doesn't matter if you're a Jew, a Christian, a Muslim, an atheist. If you're an idiot, you will be deceived very easily. If you are relatively smart and have an IQ above 120, you're not going to fall for this shit.
Right.
That's it. That's the bottom line. And there are a lot of smart black people, and they're not going to fall for it.
There absolutely are, but it's pleasing to me that every day on social media I'm seeing videos from black people that are calling out the shit that Black Lives Matter is, and talking about where all of the money raised is going to, because it's going directly into to fund the Democrats. So if people donate money to Black Lives Matter, it's actually going directly to Joe Biden's hair sniffing fund, basically. Hi, Yaz, welcome to the live feed. So I'm glad, really, that people are seeing through it.
Some of the money also goes to stacks of bricks that are delivered to the street.
Yeah.
So they can kill people with them. I saw a guy get killed with one of those bricks. A store owner. He's probably about 28 years old. He was wearing white pants. I think it happened in Texas or Dallas. He was wearing white pants and a nice clean shirt. He had a nice neat haircut. Just an earnest-looking guy trying to protect his bakery.
Right.
And these hordes of commie bastards came down the streets trying to burn his business down.
Disgusting.
He went out there with a stick or something, and they stoned him to death right in front of his shop. And I saw it with my own eyes. And it's disgusting. And I can't wait till these people come to my neighborhood, because I'm going to kill them myself with my bare hands.
Well, it's interesting that people are fighting back. I saw, I mentioned on yesterday's show about an older lady that was attacked in the Bronx, and this young woman tried to steal her shoes. And then when the people around fought back and gave her a good kicking, she didn't like it, and she felt like she was the victim. But people are going to fight back. People are not going to put up with this kind of shit for long.
Yeah. I apologize for yelling. I'm really going through a lot of crazy stuff right now.
It's okay. It's fine to
all
be.
this stuff is making me absolutely. They're trying to make us crazy. You understand
They are.
that? They're trying to make us crazy.
They are, and they're succeeding.
Every day with this coronavirus fraud. And, you know, I was in the store the other day, and this jerk had the nerve to come over to me and says, "You're not wearing a mask." And I borrowed your line. I said, "I have asthma." He goes, "So do I." I said, "Well, my doctor says I don't have to wear them." He goes, "What, you don't care about public safety?" I said, "I care about public safety. I'm just not brainwashed like you are."
Right.
I said, "Why don't you call it Stasi?" He's like, "What?" I said, "Why don't you call it Stasi?" He doesn't even know what Stasi means.
Was he
And
a
I said, "Go watch CNN." And he walks away, and he has a stain on his shorts, like he pooped his pants. I said, he's a more danger to public safety than I am.
For sure. For sure. For sure.
No, you don't get in my face, and they're actually shocked. They're actually shocked that I answered him. They're actually shocked that I answered. It's like, "Oh no, you're just supposed to be a victim." No, I'm not a victim. You're the victim. You come in my face, I'll victimize you right back. How do you like it? Get out of my face.
I think they
Who the hell do you think you are talking to me like that? You don't even know me.
I think they expect a level of subservience. I went out for the first time in a long time the other day. I went out for lunch with my sister. And my sister ordered some, I don't know, peri-peri chicken or some hot chicken, and it made her cough, and she was coughing. And this woman that was at a table that wasn't so far away from us started throwing her these looks, and my sister said, "Do you have a problem? You know, it's not a dry, persistent cough. It's the fact that I've just eaten chicken with a hot peri-peri sauce on. Do you have a problem with that?" So the woman laughed, but, you know, good, because we cannot be treated this way by idiotic fools who have bought the lie that, you know, COVID is going to kill all of us. And, you know, I'm sorry for anybody whose family it's touched, because I know it's touched a lot of families. But don't expect the rest of us to put the rest of our lives on hold because of this bullshit. Not going to happen.
And I am going to... Exactly. And I think the only thing that has to happen is on November 3rd, we beat the pants off of them.
Yes.
I will laugh. I will laugh so hard I'll fall off my couch. I will laugh so hard I can't wait until we beat them so hard at the polls, because I think that's the only thing we have left.
Yes.
I think maybe the American people just, all right, keep pushing us, keep pushing us. We'll see you on November 3rd. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
We'll see you on November 3rd, okay?
Exactly. And that's where we win. I want to change tack. I want to just do one more story while we've got a little bit of time left. Because New York's finest are putting in for retirement faster than the NYPD can handle it, while citing a lack of respect and a loss of overtime pay. A surge of cops are filing papers during the past week, and it more than quadrupled last year's number, as the city grapples with a surge of shootings, and the stampedes caused a bottleneck that is forcing others to delay putting in their papers, official sources said. Now, the NYPD said that 179 cops filed for retirement between bloody teleprompter, between June 29th and Monday, an astounding 411% increase over the 35 who during the same period in 2019. Now, the astonishing rush for the door came as 503 cops fired for retirement between May 3rd, the day George Floyd was killed in Minnesota. In Minnesota, sparking anti-cop protests around the country. On July 3rd, NYPD said the numbers represented a 75% increase in over 287 who filed for retirement during the same period last year. The deluge of applications have overwhelmed the department due to the cancellation of overtime for workers who processed them, and a daily applicants was being limited as a result. I mean, I'm not surprised that they're going, CV, but how dare the police limit people who want to get out of the service? It's a thankless task right now.
That is that's so unconstitutional. It's not even funny. I mean, how could you're gonna say that it's a law can't quit your job? What?
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't heard that since Atlas Shrugged, which I'm still struggling to get through.
Yeah.
It's like a 2,000-page epic novel. At one point, they passed a law that said everything has to freeze. Nobody can quit. You can't hire any more people, and nobody can quit. Everybody has to stay exactly where they are. And any intellectual property now becomes public property. It's total communism.
Yeah.
You cannot say that you cannot quit. And I would, to the police, I think they should all go on strike. It's happening in every blue state. It happens to be blue states. It's not red states.
For sure.
And it's not just happening in New York. It's happening in every blue state where they're told to stand down. Like the great stand down president used to say all the time, stand down, stand down. But does he stand down? Police stand down. America stand down.
But be fair, CV, they'll have social workers to deal with all of these things. You know, if you find someone in the middle of your apartment in the middle of the night robbing you because they want to feed your kids and you don't have a gun to defend yourself, call the NYPD because they'll send a social worker around within 7 to 10 days. So it's already biting de Blasio on the ass. A byproduct of this should be that the NYPD refused to guard him. You know, they shouldn't do his official detail. And the same with Cuomo. If you can disrespect our cops that badly, you don't deserve their support when you need it. Pay for your own damn private security, Warren Wilhelm. And pay for it out of the money that your wife misplaced of public funds. What was it, 8 million or 85 million or whatever it was. It's a damn disgusting state, what you've done to my state, and you should resign now, and so should Cuomo, and leave the cops to do their job properly. Because if you think you're going to be had up for murder for simply doing your job and defending yourself, what the hell is the point?
Yeah. And besides which, the only thing social workers know how to prosecute is sexual harassment.
Right.
Because if you open a door for a woman, it's sexual harassment. You're screaming, you're a stalker, and that's the only thing they know how to. That's the only thing they know how to process. Do you think they're going to go out to a drug bust? You think they're going to bust some drug dealers or
I was being
or gangbangs
I was being facetious.
Or murder? Do you think they're going to solve anything at all?
No, I was being facetious about
harassment.
I was being facetious about the social workers. I think it's a ridiculous ideology to send social workers in to do this.
That's exactly what they want to do.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's absolutely ridiculous. But do you think it's going to get worse before it gets better in NYC and other places, CV?
Yes, it's increasingly everything is increasingly getting worse as we're getting to November. I feel like we're frogs sitting in a pot that's slowly boiling.
Yeah.
And most people don't even realize the water is starting to boil, and they just sit there watching their entertainment and their tweets and their followers and their Justice Warrior, whatever. That they can feel like they're good about themselves. Look, we care. We wear masks. We care. You don't care.
Please.
You're destroying the economy. You're destroying the economy. I mean, what about all these people who are at work? What about all these starving children?
Yes.
Who can't eat because of your stupid mask idea. Your control freak, mind-numbed robot programming. You can't even think. You can't even process.
Sorry.
You can't even question. You don't question anything.
Sorry to interrupt you, CV, but there's a troll in the live feed called Barry Bennett Jr. who says COVID-19 is real. Excuse my French, I'm going to repeat what he says. He says, wear a fucking mask. So if he can say, wear a fucking mask, I can say, get out of my live feed, Barry Bennett, you dickhead liberal, and go fuck yourself. Excuse my French, people.
Dolly,
you know I don't usually
Dolly, why do you
swear.
wear my boot up? Okay?
Yeah.
Don't tell me what to do. You come at me, tell me what to do. I'll put my fucking foot up your ass, Barry.
Yeah.
I come by tail. You know where it came from?
Everybody go report Barry.
Bastards! You bastards created it, and you sent it over here to kill us.
Absolutely.
You know it. Everybody knows it.
Go report Barry Bennett. I'm just looking at his picture now. I can see his lobotomy scar is still fresh. I hope you're creaming your lobotomy scar, Barry. You look like a meathead, but you're probably just a dickhead. I'm blocking you now because you're idiotic. And you need to go screw yourself. I apologize for my language. It's unlike me to swear, but I'm tired of idiots like this, folks. I'm sure people do understand because people are frustrated with this troll in the live feed too that we just got rid of.
He's representative of the common jerk out there right now. You know,
Wow.
This is what we're up against. Morons.
Absolutely.
Like they were deputized militant activists.
Absolutely.
Is what they are.
We gotta leave it there. Unfortunately, CV. See, we both got quite heated tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. Tell people where they can find you and where they can listen to the show.
FreedomOnDeck.com. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, brother. Take care. Have a great week.
You too, man. Thank you very much for having me on. I'm sorry I had to get you
No,
now.
I was just as bad, if not worse, and it's so unusual for me. But thanks a lot, CV. Take care, brother.
Thank you. I'll
Bye.
see you next week on our daily yelling session.
Yeah, for our daily date night fight. Thanks a lot, brother. Take care. That was CV Burden from Freedom on Deck. Make sure you check him out. Thanks to everyone in the live feed, except for Barry, who is an incel and clearly has to pay to get laid because nobody else is interested in Barry the Meathead. Not had your fill of the Gibster. You can catch me 5 nights a week, 5 Pacific, 7 Central, 8 Eastern, 1 in the UK. Join us on tomorrow's show for more scintillating chat when Swoop and Chip Martin from Freedom on Deck join us. Thanks for watching. Once again, apologies for my language, but these people just really do make me sick. If you didn't already do it, please press the share button. I really do love you all. We will be back tomorrow. Don't despair. Block that liberal person. You see, I stopped myself this time. We will be back with you tomorrow. I really do love you all. Bye-bye.
It has been good to me this time around. Things were bound to change when it was found. Sugar never tasted sweeter on my lips. My heart is now intact and I can find no ribs. This is love, yeah, love. Never known true love before. Seen so many counterfeits that left me on the floor. This is love, yeah, love. All will come to those who wait. Time it cannot know the bounds, and eras don't dictate.
Click the bell button and subscribe to keep up with the Xander Gibb Show. Oh, yes, sirree.